Hey YouTube. So you can see that I took and put one of these panels on here. Now I'm not finished with it. You can see hammer marks in there. All I want to do is try and get a couple pieces made, and then I'll refine how they look. Now this one here looks a lot better, this big panel, but I also made a small panel so you guys could see the shape that actually would be for the rocker. Okay, remember I had said in my other video to make yourself one like this so you can use it as a guide and you'll know how to make the parts. What I did with this one was I hammered the bend in here and the flat spot, but then when it came to this crease, I could have hammered this in here, but instead of hammering it in, I used my brake and I just broke it in two places. At the top of the S, let me just see if I can hold this here. I put a brake in it here at the top and then here at the bottom, and it worked out pretty good with a little bit of bending here and there, and it came out nice to fit the pattern. So anyway, I put a piece on here. This is all rusted in here. It's rusted down in there yet, but I just have this screwed in place with some zip screws. And I brought it out to basically where the end of the fender would be. So what I did after that, because I'm going to make this panel, the panel's good up along there. That's just dirt you're looking at from that was underneath this plastic cover. So it needs to be replaced up in here, from here down. Okay, giving you a better view of that. So what I simply did, and I got to get some poster board. I'm sort of running out of it, and I like poster board. It works nice to make patterns. But what I did was I put a piece of newspaper on here. Excuse my reach there for a second. So I put a piece of newspaper on there and just basically figured out where I was going to be with it. Now I'm going to let this new panel ride over top of the rocker here, just like the original Chevy did at the factory. So this panel isn't going to just be this long. It has to be another 7 3/8 inches. But what I was getting at here is all I did was put a big piece of newspaper over there and run a Sharpie along this edge and along this edge. You can see how nicely that sort of came out there. Okay, as far as giving me an idea for a pattern. Now, you know, depending upon how you're going to do this, since this plastic hides a lot of stuff here for the pattern, you don't have to have a wonderful pattern. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty nice. But what I'm looking at here is, besides the pattern, there's another 1.25 inches or 1.125 inches piece of steel that wraps around the body. Okay, so around the door jamb there. So I want to add that inch on each side of this pattern. We want to add 1.25 inches actually, and the same thing on this side. Okay, so taking you with me here as far as I've gone. Where did I put that piece? Oh, here it is. I just came back from lunch, so I'm going to show you this. What you have here is I've got the piece, and if you look there where the dotted lines are on this, that's basically how I cut that out. Plus I added 7 3/8 inches to it, because that's going to have to be the part that goes underneath the rocker. So this would be the rocker from here down, and this is the body panel on the side of the truck there by the wheel well from here up. So I got that. I put my inch. This line doesn't mean anything right here, but where these dotted lines are, and then this line is where I actually want. I added 1 3/8 inches on this side to wrap around the door, and I added 1 3/8 inches on this side to wrap around the fender. Okay, where the wheel well is. Now, if you look at this, you'll see how I started bending that. And the way I did that was to put it in English wheel and to start running it in this direction with a 2.5 inch tapered wheel. Okay, I just ran it in there back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and kept trying to put a little bend in it as I go. I just push it down as I'm rolling it. So then excuse my camera, guys. I'm only got two hands. Alright, so then when you look at this, you can see that that rounded piece is starting to come nice. Okay, it's starting to follow the shape of the body. Now once I get that shape, that rounded shape, I can do a couple of different things here. What I can do is I can shape the rocker panel from here down, or I can start turning these in. Okay, now it's a little harder. I can turn these in and not hurt this panel. I mean, I'm going to have to work it. It's going to be a lot of work. It's a lot easier to do the rocker if I put a snip, a line right through here with the tin snips, and then go ahead and bend this like the rocker is from here down. And then I can just bend this in. Although I can bend this whole thing by running it this direction in the English wheel. So I ran it that direction to get this curve, okay? But I can run it this direction now to get the other curve. And it may deform this curve a little bit as I go, but all I gotta do is shrink this then, okay? As I bend this, I can shrink it on the shrinker, shrink that, and it'll actually make this curve stay nice. So I'll try and show you how I do that. This is where I should have a better camera, because if I had one of them handy cams, which I ought to go get, I could set it up there and actually you could watch how I form the panel. But that's my next step, and you can see that the panel there actually doesn't look bad as far as the rocker goes. There's not a lot to show on the rocker that shows, so these are easy as far as, you know, if it's new to you, you're not really, excuse my camera again, you're not really killing yourself. There's another piece added onto there, and you can see that it's not bad. Okay, now I do have to do a little bit of work in there to bring that together, and I'll do that. But anyway, that's how that goes. So not looking bad. And again, on this side, I'm going to build a new panel starting here. I'll form this panel to come down to here, down to where the crease is at there from the door, and then I'll go ahead and do the rocker. Now actually, when they put this together, they didn't quite do it that way, but the way I'm doing it is not bad, because it's going to be stronger, because I'm going to weld this to this. Alright, and then on the inside here, the back of these panels doesn't have a support all the way the length of it, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do back there. That's why I've only screwed this down with zip screws so far instead of welding it. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And once I make this secondary piece that's going to go underneath here, the rocker that's part of this, then that thing will have a really good strong corner there. And then I'll just take and put this back over top of that. I actually like these things. It hides a lot of stuff. I can get away with a lot more by having that plastic cover this thing than not. And then what I'll do is I'll do the same thing over here. Take a piece of paper. I actually want to get some poster board. I have it on my wife has it on her shopping list. So I'm going to put a piece of poster board to cover this whole thing, and then I'll mark that off, and that panel should be pretty easy to make. I'm not too worried about that. So anyway, guys, that's where I'm at so far. I'm not sure about what I want to do with welding this. I may just tack it in a couple places. I might even just put screws in it, because there's a piece here that actually covers. You can see how well that covers everything. This piece goes on here. So really, I don't know if I want to take the time to weld that all or not. But for now, that's where I'm at. And I'll let you know as I go. So have a good one, guys. It's a nice day in Pennsylvania, and Bullseye is enjoying it. Bye.